Man, they said that boy Diddy,
putting an
4
end
years.
to the freakiest trial in
Uh-oh.
history. Acquitted of racketeering and sex trafficking, Diddy was found guilty back in July for 2 lesser charges of transportation for the purpose of prostitution, aka flying hoes out. All of the insane allegations brought up throughout this trial, from cars blowing up, shots being fired, guns being found, and tons of lubricating evidence, seemed to have no effect on the case. A major win for Diddy, but the battle wasn't over. Diddy would break down into tears in court, begging the judge for mercy, pleading that he's a changed man and learned from his mistakes. Diddy's kids would even speak to the judge, asking for their father's freedom and to consider their 2-year-old sister who constantly asked every night for her daddy. Federal prosecutors would state they recommend 132 months, an 11-year prison sentence, but the judge would deny the recommendation, finding it too harsh. Instead, the judge would sentence Diddy to 50 months in federal prison, which is 4 years and 2 months to be more specific. Diddy would also receive credit for the 14 months he'd spent.
I don't know, bro. I feel like Diddy gonna be his lawyer's gonna find a way to get bro on house arrest. I think so.
Incarcerated, putting him at exactly 3 years to serve in prison.
Only 3 years.
But things actually get even better. Federal prison requires 85% of a sentence to be served, meaning with good behavior, Diddy can be released in just over 2.5 years, putting his release date in 2028. So how will federal prison be for Diddy? Because of his minor criminal history, Diddy doesn't qualify to be sent to a United States penitentiary. These are the deadliest compounds in the federal system, controlled by racial politics and gangs. A step down would be a medium, but Diddy is likely to find himself in a low or even a camp. These are the most minimal custody facilities, with some not even being fenced in. His celebrity status will absolutely benefit him in prison, and just a few years ago, Diddy was reportedly a billionaire. But this legal case would knock his net worth down to 200 to 400 million, still making him one of the richest inmates in the federal prison system. Money inside of prison also means power. And I wouldn't be surprised if Diddy has multiple cell phones to stay entertained and in contact with the outside world. If Diddy hasn't sobered up after all this time off the streets, he'll definitely have access to drugs in prison. If not, the ability to control the drug trade at whatever spot he lands. While this trial wasn't filmed, artwork would be released showing Diddy in a number of positions, including on his knees, as he found out all the money spent on his legal team still wasn't enough for him to walk free. While 4 years isn't much compared to what he could have got, try to understand how long 4 years is. High school, college, serving in the military. 4 years is enough to have a significant impact on one's life, be it good or bad. The most time Diddy's ever had to do in his life, he'll be released at roughly 57 to 58 years old and will still be very, very wealthy. He's likely to return to his throne, interviews propelling him back into the algorithm, and business ventures placing him right back into the yachts and mansions. The prison influence will likely have him working out, and he may even come home healthier than before he went in. Prison is what you make it. A life lesson for many, or a repetitive cycle. Rehabilitation is only accomplished by putting in the work yourself. So imagine being locked in a library, endless amounts of knowledge. But if you never open a book, you'll never leave smarter than when you went in. Now, do I see Diddy getting in trouble in prison? To be honest, I can see him getting caught with contraband like a cell phone at the most. He has enough money to pay whoever to hold his shit down, and you gotta think, there's guys in prison that nobody sends money to. Imagine Diddy comes into your cell and says, hey, you're gonna hold my phone, my weed, and whatever else I tell you to do. I'm gonna put $1,000 on your books every month.
La épica acción de War Thunder te permite participar en
But let me know, I don't know, bro. If that nigga was in that position, serving life. And Diddy tell him that, bro, they gonna do that shit for sure.
That man's life. $1,000 on your books every month. He just changed that man's life and essentially made him prison rich, as most people who get money might not even see $100 in a month. Now, it's also said Diddy qualifies for a drug program that can reduce his sentence another year. And once he's short timing, he'll be sent to a halfway house. So Diddy's release could come sooner than many think. It's wild though, how so many have shown disappointment in his light sentence. Seeing Cassie being beat was far from easy, and hearing the other accusations against him definitely painted a picture before trial. But those weren't the crimes he was found guilty of, and it seems people feel he should still be punished for those actions. Regardless, the freakiest case in hip-hop has officially ended, and I just wonder where the feds are able to store the hundreds of bottles of lubricating evidence they recovered. Now, in my opinion, do I feel his sentence was just? I would say no, because to be honest with you, transporting to engage in prostitution, like, bro, that's such a gray area. Because, like, if I'm talking to a girl from LA, right, and I fly her out and she knows I got money, I'm this YouTuber, whatever, she's expecting I'm gonna wine and dine her, maybe trick on her, buy her a couple things, and I'm expecting that I'm gonna smash. But if the feds really wanted to, they could literally write that off as transportation for prostitution. And it's like, what the fuck? You can face up to 15 years for that shit, bro. Diddy was facing 15 for one count, 15 for the other. Essentially, what, 30 fucking years if they ran it like that? That's insane.
Yeah. Like
now, trafficking is a whole nother thing. Or if you're flying a bitch out and tricking her, that's a whole nother thing. And I guess that's what they're saying he was doing. He was bringing girls out and then making them engage in other things. But it's like, you're the one paying people to do this shit. You're not, like, pimping them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would understand if you flew out Cassie or flew a guy out to smash Cassie and then you got the funds from the guy. That's pimping. You know what I mean? But he wasn't pimping. He was paying the guy. So it's like, you paid someone to smash your girl, then you smash your girl. I don't understand. But to me, if I'm being quite honest, aside from the victimization of Cassie, it sounds like adults being adults and doing adult things that adults should have.
For me, bro, it sounds like motherfuckers just shipping somebody out and doing whatever they do. This right there is not too deep for it to be 15 years for that shit. That's insane. Like, no way.
Freedom to do. In my opinion, when things get out of hand and, you know, they brought all the accusations of him spiking drinks and beating women and threatening people, all that's crazy, right? But that was all used to paint a picture. He wasn't found guilty of racketeering. He wasn't found guilty of trafficking. And getting those charges acquitted in a federal fucking court is crazy. You could damn near say Diddy beat the motherfucking feds. He beat a racketeering case.
Yeah.
That's some big boy shit.
That is some crazy shit,
man. 4 years.
Yeah,
now, he's panicking because he ain't a prison dude. He ain't an inmate dude. He's never done time. But for a motherfucker that was facing life to walk away with 4, you got a victory at the end of the day. I think it's a little bit excessive, but who knows? You know, I'm not the professional. I'm not the judge. And maybe the 4 years will do him more good than bad. Because at the end of the day, if he's locked up in there and he's working out, eating healthier, it's a whole lot better than him being out here doing drugs and basically living in sin. But hey, it's 1090 Jake. Let me know y'all's thoughts in the comments.
Crazy, bro. I ain't gonna lie. But yeah, y'all heard it. That boy Diddy might be freer way quicker than y'all think. Maybe 3 years from now. Shit, maybe even 2. Shit, maybe even 1, bro. But if he in that camp, yo, he's straight. You're not in no maximum security prison, bro. He's overly straight. So Diddy be alright. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. I love everybody.